There's a village in Japan that if you enter, you will never be able to return. A place that even the government warns you not to enter. The place is called the Inunaki Village, an area where if you walk in, you'll be able to see a large signboard stating that Japan's jurisdiction ends there, and once you step in, you're no longer in Japan. Do you know what that means? It becomes a free-for-all place where everything and anything is possible, but there will be no repercussions for your actions. Japanese laws are powerless and you can be killed, raped, or whatever the people there want to do to you.
God.
The place is thought to have no connection to the outer world, and crimes like incest, murder is common, and it's like going through a portal where your phones and other electronic devices don't even work, and people who have gone inside were never seen again. Years ago, Inunaki Village had still been open to the curious public through a tunnel that had been very dark and very wet. But recently, it had been closed and covered, barring anyone from entering because of a murder that had taken place and the recurring disappearance of visitors who visited Inunaki Village. What is the mystery of the Inunaki Village? Why is it that when you go inside, you disappear? And what is the story of the murder? Content warning. This video includes description of violence, murder, death, rituals, and other supernatural content. Listener discretion is advised, as some stories may be unsettling or sensitive to certain audiences. Turn down the lights, snuggle up tight, and get ready for another Tuck Tale. What happens when the line between fact and folklore blurs? Welcome to Tuck Tales, where urban legends meet true crime and myth aren't always just stories. My name is Afrina, your host for the episode.
And my name is Diski.
And today I'm taking all of you to a village that stands on Japanese soil, but they say is not a part of Japan, the Inunaki Village. They say that if you stand in front of the Inunaki Tunnel, you will be hearing the screams of those who were murdered inside, trapped, never being able to leave the tunnel. Due to its remoteness, the tunnel is home to several murders in the town of Miyawaka in the Fukuoka Prefecture. The tunnel then leads to a place called Inunaki Village, where people say cannibalistic villagers await all those who dare to trespass on their land. It is believed that terrifying things happen inside, things so horrifying that no one would ever dare to enter after hearing about them. Yet, some adventure seekers still try to visit, and people say that nobody ever returns from there. They whisper things like, humans are eaten. People believe that satanic rituals take place where individuals aren't just killed, but they're tortured to death for enjoyment. Maybe to me and you, these quotes seem to come straight out of a horror movie, right? Or someone's nightmare. If we haven't seen it from our own eyes, hear it from our own ears, how could it ever be real? But the truth behind Inunaki Village is rooted in tragedy, mystery, and a profound fear of the unknown. And there have been things that occurred in the village beyond understanding. But first, let me take you through the area, the facts, and where Inunaki Village is actually located. It is a village that had been long built, and although the current one standing is not actually its original form, the real Inunaki Village was submerged in 1986 when the Inunaki Dam was built, and it drowned the old village beneath the waters. And the government there built new foundations to make a new Inunaki Village. The new one is less populated, and the original settlement is actually almost forgotten. However, stories of the area persist, and tales straight from a horror movie just keep on coming out. But what if there is more to that story? The center of the dark legends is the tunnel connecting the rest of Japan to the Inunaki Village. Built in 1954, it was to help travelers cross the mountain, but the tunnel had been used for crimes, and its reputation soon took over its original purpose. Because it's dark and terrifying, people just go there and do bad things. On December 6, 1988, Koichi Umeyama, an employee at a nearby factory, was driving home when he stopped at a red light. And at this time, a group of teenagers suddenly approached his vehicle and they made an absurd request. Hey, I have a date, so can you please lend me your car? Koichi was flabbergasted. Like, who do they think they were, right?
Yeah.
So he said no, he refused. Which had made the teenagers very, very angry. And in response, the boys forcibly dragged Koichi out of the car, they assaulted him, and they kidnapped him.
Oh my god.
They took him to one of the homes belonging to one of the boys, and the assault kept continuing. He was getting beaten up like crazy. But at around 2 a.m., Koichi found his opportunity to escape. While the boy who had been responsible to watch him was taking a nap, Koichi escaped, ran as far as he could, which is around 2 kilometers toward his home, even though he was very injured and battered from all the beatings. But sadly though, he was yet again hunted and captured by the boys, and his escape only made it worse for him. They were even more angry now. The kidnappers brought him back to the house and this time used wrenches and other tools to beat him more severely than before. After hours of this beating, one of the boys, scared that their crimes would be discovered or they would go to jail if they let him escape, suggested that they should just kill him.
What?
Where's the common sense, right?
Yeah.
Just to hide their crimes.
And they're teenagers, right?
Teenagers.
Oh my god.
But teenagers...
They're too young.
So the boys, hearing the suggestion, they were like, you know what? You're right. I feel like we need to kill him now. And so when they discussed their plans and what to do, they finalized on 2 places that they could use to dispose of his body. The Rikimaru Dam, a dam nearby the house, and the infamous Inunaki Tunnel. But they realized that if they dumped Koichi in the Rikima Dam, the body would float and be discovered. So instead, they chose to go to an empty space near the Inunaki Tunnel. So they even strategized. So the plans have been set. And now it's just time to execute. The boys put Koichi in the trunk and they started driving to the Inunaki Tunnel, and one of them even made a pit stop at a nearby gas station and bought gasoline, saying that they had run out of gas. But instead, when they arrived at the tunnel, they poured the gasoline on Koichi. Terrified, Koichi kept resisting, but his attempts were futile. He was vastly outnumbered and he was badly injured. He escaped again only to be caught again, and they tied his hands and feet and they assaulted him, and he was killed after the boys set him on fire alive. But his nightmare there has finally ended. And 3 years later, in 1991, a trial was held where the main offender, who was 19 at the time, and 21 at the time of the trial, was sentenced to life imprisonment alongside his friends, but this guy had the guts to appeal his sentence.
What did he say?
He said, I had no intention to kill anybody.
What?
But of course, it was rejected and they spent their whole lives in prison. So that event, the murder that occurred in the tunnel out of nowhere, marked the shift of the tunnel from a regular passageway to a chilling symbol of fear. Today, the tunnel is closed, barring anybody from entering, and thus only stands as a chilling landmark, abandoned and decaying. That doesn't stop people that are interested to know the truth though, like you and me, from visiting the place whenever anybody could. And when these people go there, they come back with haunting stories. Like they said they hear disembodied screams from within the walls, and people who have gone too close even say that they feel like their energy just depletes when they go there. They feel sad and dread. But do you think that it could be because we know there are haunted stories that are making us feel this way?
Yeah, I think part of it is like the way your mind play tricks on you.
Yeah.
Every time I go to haunted house, I know like those are just people, right? Not real ghosts. But I feel scared because of the atmosphere and because of the theme there, because of the darkness. So I think it's more of like psychological.
Yeah. If you know that place is scary and haunted, you feel even more scared.
Yeah.
But if you know it's not scary, you don't feel anything. It's so weird how our brain can do that.
Yeah. I think it's because part of our brain main function to make us survive in the world.
Survival instinct.
Yeah, survival instinct.
But aside from the murder that happened in Inunaki Village, there is another story that I found online, some sort of a myth or an urban legend as you can call it. They say that within the Inunaki Village, there's this phone booth. And they said that every night at 2 a.m. it will light up and the phone will start ringing. Every single night without missing.
And with no electricity connection.
With no electricity. Now let's say you were there. You pick it up and you say hello, and you will hear laughter at the other end of the line, and suddenly you feel that your legs are frozen and you can't move an inch of your body. You're stunned. You look down, and in the phone booth, water is starting to slowly but surely filling up, and within minutes you're completely submerged and you die of drowning. The person on the other side calling, as they say in the story, are spirits who had lost their lives by jumping off of a bridge or drowned alive, and they come to seek vengeance to kill everybody else the same exact way.
Yeah. The typical way, of course.
Typical, they die like that, so they want to kill everybody.
Yeah.
It is scary, but it's like, why are they doing that?
Yeah, I know, right? They just want to have people who suffer the same as them.
Yeah.
Maybe because like in the afterlife they can, like curhat.
Now, there are many people who have been interested and visited the place. They filmed it and they put it on YouTube. I mean, it is a scary place, a haunted place, so a lot of people are interested to see. With nobody living there, it looks and it feels abandoned. Forest, overgrown trees everywhere, old buildings, and it's just frightening, And one of the YouTubers in the videos mentioned of the photo booth that people say is cursed, but the YouTuber mentioned that it looked brand new.
Brand new?
Newer than the story. So it looked like someone put it there on purpose, maybe to give the place some sort of an eerie vibe. But hey, I mean, these YouTubers, they filmed it and then they came out, made it out alive, and then they were able to post it on YouTube. So maybe it's not that scary. But if we ever go to Japan, would you want to check the place out?
I'm really interested to go.
Yeah, because the fact that there are signboards that said like, this is not part of Japan, is kind of creepy. Like, why is it not a part of Japan?
I know, right?
I mean, honestly, I am very conflicted. It sounds like an interesting place, and I do want to have a look. But I'm scared, like, not of ghosts or anything, but I'm scared that it might be dangerous.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody living there, no police or anything. And anyway, it's a short story, but that's the place I wanted to tell you guys about. The story of a place that does not belong in any of the country. And that's all for today's story. So if you're someone who loves creepy stories based on legends, just tune in for episodes in English with me as your host every Friday and Diski in Bahasa Indonesia every Tuesday. That's all. Bye-bye.
Bye.